I'm about to tell you something that will completely change the way you think about the economics of professional tennis. So ladies and gentlemen, stop what you're doing and pay attention. The authorities are completely insane over what we are seeing in the California desert, something that has never been seen before. The 2026 BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells has turned into the focal point of a conflict between the established order and an unanticipated natural force. Alex Eala is the name of that power. This isn't just a sports narrative, so allow me to set the scene. This is a tale about nationalism, power, money, and what occurs when a hierarchical institution unexpectedly encounters an uncontrollable force. Women's tennis is governed by the WTA, which has spent decades carefully crafting its image. They have their corporate darlings, their top seeds, and their cliched stories. The prime time slots go to the top performers in the world. The largest courts are awarded to Grand Slam winners. Everyone is aware of their position in the hierarchy, and everything is controlled and organized. Subsequently, Alex Eala entered and completely overturned the table. The tennis establishment does not want you to know this unsettling reality. A 20-year-old Filipino player who is rated 28th in the world is attracting larger crowds, making more money from tickets, and generating more interaction on social media than all 10 of the best players put together. Give that some thought. Give it some time to marinate in your mind. While Alex Eala makes every match a sold-out spectacle, the supposed superstars of this sport, those with the Grand Slam titles, the world #1 rankings, the prime court assignments, and the marquee broadcast slots, are playing in front of half-empty stadiums. What is the WTA's reaction to this? They allegedly attempted to stifle this surge in interest in revenue rather than welcome and celebrate it. This is when the story becomes truly frustrating, so we must discuss what is said to have occurred behind closed doors. Several stories state that Tommy Haas, the event director, received correspondence from the WTA leadership voicing concerns on the ELA effect. Now consider that phrase for a moment. Worry. A player's excessive popularity worried them. Too many fans were showing up, which worried them. They were worried that too much money was being made. Moving Alex Eala's matches on smaller, more isolated courts was the purported remedy put forth by the WTA board. The explanation given: to keep the players with better rankings from being overshadowed by her fame. What they referred to as the broadcast aesthetic was something they wished to preserve. In other words, they wanted to ensure that their hand-picked favorites were playing to rows of empty seats without the cameras always showing a stadium full of Filipino flags. They wished to maintain the appearance that the audience was still drawn to the established order. This is comparable to a restaurant telling its most well-liked chef to cook in the back alley because the other cooks are envious that patrons continually asking for his food. It defies common sense in business. It goes against basic sense. Tommy Haas was evidently enraged by it. Haas reportedly flatly rejected the proposal. It seems that the WTA board does not understand what he did. You do not penalize achievement. A player is not penalized because 115 million people want to watch her compete. Because the other birds are humiliated and have stopped laying eggs, you do not attempt to conceal the golden goose. Haas allegedly made it clear to the board that the Eala Nation is essential to the tournament's record-breaking attendance, and that any attempt to undermine it would result in the entire situation being made public. Leverage is that person is aware of the situation's true economics. And the WTA allegedly had to concede as a result. Let's look at the deeper ridiculousness of what the establishment was attempting to do, though. The late-night match between Alex Eala and Diana Yastremska turned into a case study of all the mistakes made by the WTA. The game was slated to take place in Stadium 3, a smaller location, and it lasted till midnight. The authorities anticipated that the stands would be deserted. Who watches a player who isn't in the top 25 at midnight on a weeknight? The response is: the stadium was transformed into something like to a World Cup qualifier by thousands and thousands of Filipino supporters. It was unlike anything the competition had witnessed in terms of energy, volume, and enthusiasm. And because it demonstrated unequivocally that the conventional tennis value criteria are flawed, it frightened the establishment. Drawing power is no longer determined by rankings. Packed houses are hardly a guarantee of Grand Slam victories. In 2026, connectivity will determine value. Its genuineness. It's having 115 million people in your country who identify with your achievements. Rankings equate to interest, according to the WTA's hierarchy. They don't know how to process the fact that Alex Eala is disproving that equation. This is when the establishment's worry turns almost funny in its desperation. So let's follow the money. Alex Eala made about $15,720, or 63 million Philippine pesos, during her journey to the round of 16 at Indian Wells. For a player of her caliber, that is substantial prize money. However, her reward money isn't the true story. What she represents in terms of commercial value is the true tale. Alex Eala's commercial value is currently estimated by industry analysts to be around $100 million. I need you to grasp the scope of what we are talking about, so allow me to repeat that figure. $100 million. Many players in the top 10 are undervalued. It outperforms several Grand Slam winners. It elevates her to a level of commercial success unrelated to her current ranking. And everything to do with the fact that a whole country is captivated by her. In business circles, Emma Raducanu, the British player who shot to fame after winning the US Open, is being compared. This crucial distinction, however, makes Alex Eala's circumstances much more noteworthy. A Grand Slam victory served as the foundation for Raducanu's commercial worth. She became a marketing phenomenon after winning the largest prize in the sport. Despite not yet holding a major singles title, Alex Eala has built her business empire on unadulterated loyalty and connection. A trophy is not the basis of her worth. It's a relationship with 115 million people who will support her at midnight on a weeknight, follow her everywhere, and purchase anything she recommends. That type of asset is essentially different. Sponsors are clamoring to be associated with her brand because that is something that cannot be produced in a boardroom. Speaking of sponsors, let's discuss Babolat, Globe Telecom, and Nike, the jewel in the crown. These companies seem to understand something that the WTA does not. They are aware that real audience connection and engagement rates are more valuable than ranking points. Every time Alex Eala's name appears on one of their goods, they have seen their metrics soar. They have witnessed the power of 115 million ardent supporters when a business is connected to a loved one. This leads us to the business influence that allegedly made the WTA re-evaluate their suppressive tactics. It seems that Nike, the world's largest sports sponsor, was not pleased to learn that their investment was being overlooked. According to reports, Nike executives suggested that Alex's matches be moved to lesser courts after becoming enraged upon learning about the purported message. The answer was clear-cut and prompt. You lose the swoosh's support if you come into contact with the dragon. Consider the situation that the WTA finds itself in. They suppressed a budding star in an attempt to preserve their established order. They infuriated one of the most influential corporations in sports by doing this. According to reports, Nike is getting ready to create a trademark line for Alex Eala, an honor usually given to tennis greats like Rafael Nadal or Serena Williams. They recognize that this young Quezon City woman is more than simply a tennis player, something the WTA seems to be unable to. She is well known throughout the world. She's a movement. She is the commercial viability of the sport's future. The WTA made an effort to prevent its top seeds from being overshadowed.